Well, good evening. Today is almost over, but today is Monday, June 19th, and we have one birthday. Today is Cindy N's birthday. So Cindy, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cindy. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you have a great birthday, and hopefully I get this uploaded before your birthday is over. I've had a day. I've had a day and a night and a day. A day and a night and a day. I've had it. Let me tell you. I don't know if you watched my meeting highlights. They went up really late. They went up like probably 8 o'clock. But anyway, yesterday was the normal Father's Day. I got up like at 9 o'clock, 9:30. The kids came over to celebrate Father's Day with Jim. We went out for dinner with Sophia. We went to Chili's for dinner, and I had a chicken ranch quesadilla with a bowl of potato soup and a Coke, and Jim had a cheeseburger or bacon cheeseburger with a bowl of chili with onions and cheese and French fries and a Coke. And we came home. We had a nice little evening. We watched TV. About 11:30, Jim said he was going to go to bed. He just said he was tired, nothing major, so he went to bed at 11:30. And then I was watching TV back here in my little domain, and he come in about 11:45, and he was holding his chest, and he says, I have this massive pressure right across my chest right here. I feel like somebody's sitting on my chest. And I said, oh my gosh, Jim, I think you're having a heart attack. He says, well, could you call 911? Because I'm really not feeling well. If you knew Jim will not tell you to call 911. He's just like, oh, you know what? I have a little pressure, whatever. He was scared. He really was scared. So I called 911. They got here right away. We could hear the sirens coming. I think, oh, we're going to wake up the whole neighborhood. Everybody's going to be out there looking like, oh, what's going on at the Carrico house? But they shut we could hear that they shut the sirens off before they come in the subdivision. And so then they asked Jim, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say your pain level is? And he said, about a 10. You know, very nonchalantly, oh, about a 10. And I thought, oh my gosh. He says, I don't think I'm having a heart. He told the people, he says, I don't think I'm having a heart attack. I think I pulled a muscle when I was rolling over. He says, it's sad to say that's how out of shape I am, that I had pulled a muscle rolling over. And they did the EKG, and they didn't like what they saw. And so they said that they were going to do another EKG. They waited a minute or two while they were, you know, hooking him up with stuff. And then they gave him another EKG, and they didn't like the looks of that. They gave him some aspirin to chew. And so then they're getting him all ready, and they said, well, we're going to bring you to the hospital. And Jim says, well, I don't know if I really want to go to the hospital. I said, well, you're going to the hospital. You don't have a choice. You're going to the hospital. So he said, okay, we're going to go. So then they're packing up their stuff. And I said, well, our hospital is in Grosse Pointe. It's not Bon Secours. It's Beaumont. And they go, well, we don't go that far. We're bringing them to McLaren. I wouldn't bring my dog to McLaren. If anybody's in this area, I don't know if McLaren is the better system where you live. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst. My sister Mary went there one time. She wasn't, more than one time, because it's this one where her doctors are out of. She sat in the emergency room in a chair for 36 hours before they saw her. I would have left. I would have just left. But anyway, so I said, well, no, we're not going there. And he goes, well, that's the hospital we bring them to. And then they'll transfer them from there somewhere else. And I go, well, I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going there. I said, I'll just drive them somewhere. And they says, well, we don't recommend you drive him somewhere. And I said, you know what? If he goes to McLaren, he's not going to get treated anyhow. And he's just going to sit in the room for as long as it's going to take me to drive him over to our Beaumont over here in Lenox. That's how long it's going to take you to get to Beaumont anyhow. And why can't you bring him there? And they go, well, we can't bring him there. And I said, well, we're not going to McLaren. We're very adamant. We're not going to McLaren. And then Jim said, no, we're not going to McLaren. Now, maybe I was wrong, because at least if he's in an ambulance, they can take care of him. But they said, well, we can't bring you to the Beaumont, and you don't want to go to the McLaren. We can take you to Henry Ford. Well, Henry Ford is a really good hospital, which is over by Christy's house. I said, well, we'll go to Henry Ford then. And he says, well, you don't have a problem going to Henry Ford? And I said, no. I said, we're not going to McLaren, but we'll go to Henry Ford. So they took him to Henry Ford, and excellent service. I'm telling you, it was like, we got to the hospital there about 12:15, and we had a doctor in the room by 12:25. I mean, it was like, or even 12:20. I mean, it was like, as soon as he got there was a doctor and the nurses, and they were hooking him up and everything and checking him out. And they come with the x-ray machine and took an x-ray at the bedside. And they came with the EKG machine and took the EKG with him at the bedside. They took blood work every hour for the first 2 hours. Then they waited 2 hours to take blood again, and then 2 hours again after that to take blood. 1, 2, 4, 6, yeah. Just to check the enzyme level. So then they come in about 7 o'clock this morning and said that it doesn't, you know, like all of the tests show that he didn't have a heart attack. That he did, his blood enzyme, his heart enzymes were like good. His passages and stuff like that for his arteries and that were good. They weren't blocked or, you know, anything. I mean, normal. They said the normal thing for somebody that's 73 years old and overweight, but nothing life-threatening type of thing. And so they did all of that, and they checked all of that out. And so then they said, well, what we really would like to do is an ultrasound of the heart. And then so Jim says, well, when is that going to be? He says, well, hopefully today. This was like at 7 o'clock. He says, hopefully today, but if not, definitely tomorrow. And so he says, you mean I got to stay here another night? And so I said, well, Jim, you need to do that. And he says, well, I really don't want to do it. And so then the doctor says to Jim, he says, you and I have no decision. We will not make the decision of this. She's going to make the decision, because I can see that she's very forceful. And I think we're going to go by what she says. And so I said, I think he should stay. And he says, well, I agree with you. I think he should stay. He says, because, you know, I don't see anything happening, but it'd be better to have him here if something happens to get treated right away. So Jim agreed very reluctantly. So I went home a little after 7. I got home about 7:30, and I fell asleep about 8 o'clock, and then I woke up at 11 because Jim called me to tell me that they were going to take him for his ultrasound at 1 o'clock, and he wanted me to be there. I said, okay. So got up, took a shower, and drove over there with him. Jim slept off and on during the night in the bed. I had a folding chair. You would think in the emergency room they'd have a little bit more comfortable chair than a folding chair. But anyway, so Jim is fine. He's home now. No heart issues. They just want him to follow up with his cardiologist and to see how that's going to go. So thank you for listening to me. He scares me. The last time he did this was in 2020. I don't know if you guys have been with me that long, but in 2020 he had some issues with, he thought, with his heart at that time too. And so I couldn't go with him at that point. He had to go by himself. So at least this time I could go with him and sit with him. But I really do think that a lot of it had to do with he probably just had indigestion. And even the doctor said, you know, like there's no way to know for sure, but it does sound like he had indigestion with the heavy meal that he ate. But he had been up for like 5.5 hours after he ate. So it's not like he ate all of that and went right to bed. But, so anyway. So then during the day, I did my weekly highlights, meeting highlights. So those got up late too. I don't think those went up till like about 8 o'clock. Because I just tried to do it with my cellular updated, and it took a couple hours. Reminded me of when I was in South Dakota. So it did take a while for that to upload, because I did that in the morning before I left to go over to the hospital. And just trying to, David came over and cut the grass, because Jim usually cuts it on Mondays, and so I called him at work. I says, I know you're going to be tired when you get off work. I says, but you know your grandfather, he's going to come home and think the grass has to be cut. So David come after work and cut the front and back grass. So, always something, tell you. Always something going on. So I know I'm going to be going to bed early tonight, and I know I'm going to sleep really well. But, anyway, that's my exciting news for the day. I have Denise's 25th anniversary is tomorrow. Denise and Gary's 25th anniversary is tomorrow. So they went up to Traverse City. And so Kylie stayed home. And I brought her over to Christy's house, because the hospital is over by Christy's house. So I brought her over to Christy's house so she could swim in Sophia's pool. So she spent the afternoon over there. And then we stopped and I got her something from McDonald's for her dinner. And so I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else. I'll show you my food. I did pretty well today. I do think I gained at least 5 or 6 pounds on my vacation. I didn't get on the scale because, like I said, I didn't wake up till like 11:30. 11:30, and it was way past my normal time of weighing. And you know, let's face it, I knew I was going to have a big gain, and I didn't want to see it. I'm in denial, so not so much denial. I just think that if I don't see it, it won't be as bad. But you'll see as my eating today that I'm back on plan. So I'm going to show you my food again this week. I'm having a hard time getting a lot of calories in, getting my points in, but not my calories. So we'll see. I think I consumed enough calories in the last 2 or 3 weeks that I can kind of skate through under calories this week, but we'll see. So, all right, I'll show you the rest of my day, show you what I ate. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, back to showing my food. I'm just going to have a cup of berries, 2 eggs, a piece of toast with some peanut butter, a cup of tea, and my water. So today is Monday, June 19th. I'm going to have 2 eggs for 0 points. A cup of berries for 0 points. Oh, I forgot my banana. Banana for 0 points. A slice of rye toast for 4 points, and a tablespoon of peanut butter is 3 points. 7 points. 577 calories. Let's go eat.
No, my dog, don't you?
Ooh, the vicious attack dogs. Look at them.
There you go.
Look at them. They think they're being... Oh, let's check out... Oh, you don't scare me. Let's check out Christy's backyard because she's got a pool now. She's got a hammock. There's Sophia.
I got my last birthday present.
Oh, cool. And they also have their own pool.
Oh.
Look who's in the clown car. How was your experience getting in the clown car, Jim?
Oh, it's just a thrill.
And Kylie's in the back seat. There's Kylie.
Yep.
Kylie was here with Sophia.
Yep.
Jim was in the hospital. We just picked him up. He's got a clean bill of health. Well,
Yep. I'm the healthiest fat guy they got.
yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, so now we're on our way home. Okay, for dinner I'm going to have a salad with some olives, some Caesar's dressing, tomatoes, a little bit of ham, lettuce, cottage cheese, iced tea, and more water. It is a 17-point dinner because I forgot to count the olives. And it's probably 1,090 calories. So I'm trying to get like around 1,200 calories. Just as regular unsweetened iced tea and my salad for dinner.